Congrats on another great win. The Roosters are a quality side. What does beating the reigning premiers do for the Raiders' confidence?
Mate, they're a good football team, but it's just about belief, and it's not so much about the confidence we get out of it, because we were confident going into that game that we could win. And for me, it was a belief about just when we can get our game of football on, we're a very good football team.
You spoke after the game, Rick, about the doubters and the questions over the team during the years. Are you using that to fuel the fire?
No, not at all, Paul, because we've proven them wrong for many years, and it's just you don't want to be looking out to outside influences to try and gain motivation. We don't need to use that for motivation. We're a far more superior team than that, and we know what we're about, and that's the most important thing. And I had to use that for motivation. We're struggling.
So, Rick, there's a lot of people that watch a lot of football that immediately put a pen through the Raiders once you lost Josh Hodgson. How long did it take you to get confident again, or were you immediately confident? And if so, why did you know the team could be doing this without one of the best playmakers in the competition?
Oh, look, I was upset when we lost Josh. I mean, he's a world-class player and he's a big part of our overall game. We had to change our game because we had a new player going into 9 or 2 new players with Tommy and Lever both sharing the role. So we had to change our game, and I was very confident that what we were going to introduce was going to work for the style of the players that we had. And I don't try and create game plans or strategy for our players that it's outside their capabilities or talent. I'm more of a coach that will play to our players' talents and strengths. So we changed and implemented a few little things in attack that was going to be a strength of the players that were going to be touching the ball the most.
George Williams has really delivered for you this year.
He has, Kenny, he very much so. I was always confident that he was going to make the transition from Super League to the NRL. And, there was a lot of people talking about having our halves wouldn't work because we had 2 runners. I was very happy to have 2 runners, but I was also very confident that George could be a player that could play on the ruck and organise our style of game. I got great confidence out of talking to George's father over a couple of years at the start of the season. I told him my plans for George, and I said it'll probably happen halfway through the season, and that he said that's the best. That's the style that George likes to play. So I changed a little bit of George's style coming into the halfway through the year, which was always going to be the case, because I felt as though it was going to be something that was going to be more comfortable for our team and George. And that fact has proven correct. He's been a wonderful asset, and he still has so much more improvement in his game. And once he gets another season under his belt with Jack Whiten, he's going to just go from strength to strength.
So Rick, I just want to go back to a point you made there. So part of your coaching George Williams this year had involved a couple of beers with his father, is that right? And getting to understand George and what plans you had for him, and getting feedback from his dad about whether or not he felt that would work for George, yeah?
Yeah, his father's a coach. He was a coach in Wigan. He's a coach in Perth now. He's actually got a really good footy brain. I really enjoyed talking to him. Once I told him my plans for George, once we got into the season, he was, it was great to see his confidence in what my thoughts were, because I don't think there's too many people that know your game better than your father, and especially when you've got a father who's really passionate about the game itself. It was nice to have a chat and a few beers with him.
Rick, you play Melbourne this week, and obviously whenever you play the Storm, the narrative that dominates at least part of the week is your friendship with Craig Bellamy. You've been mates for a long time. I don't know if you've ever told us how you actually came about being friends with Craig, because it's not something we'd immediately put you together if we didn't know you.
Yeah, it goes all the way back. I was a great fan from '82 right through as a young footy player. I was a great fan of the Canberra Raiders from my early years, or their early years, from '82. And then when I got here in '88, I knew who Craig Bellamy was. He didn't know me, and we really grew closely together at the early stages of my career here at the club. I think he was the inaugural player. He was here at 82. So he took me under his wing and cared for me and helped me. I come from a rugby league background, a rugby union, but then I retired, I gave up rugby league for 3 or 4 years and pursued a career in rugby union. And when I came back, the game had changed a hell of a lot. I'd gone from a junior to a senior, and Craig was instrumental in regards to helping me with a lot of the intricate parts of the game, especially from attack. You know, Tim was a specialist to attention to detail for attack. Craig was a great helping hand for me, but more so, he really took me under his wing outside the game, and we became great friends and great family friends. You know, with Rachel and Aaron, and also Wendy, his wife. It was just a relationship that's grown and grown, and football gets in between us once, twice, 3 times a year, but it's only because we want the same thing, and it'll never come between us in regards to outside that 80 minutes. But it's been he's had a wonderful career as a coach. And, again, it always makes it harder when you're playing against a Craig Bellamy football team, because they're very well prepared.
Does it ever get difficult for your friendship playing each other?
No, Kenny. I mean, when you've known one another and been family friends for so long, it's a game of football. Unfortunately, it's both what we both want. We want to win, and we're both not real good losers. So it's fairly tense after games at times, where we share a beer with one another, but we overcome that. We get through that, and a lot of our other mates who are close to us as well, they often have a dig at us and laugh. But mate, it's 80 minutes of hard work against each other, but outside that, it's a friendship that'll last for many, many years to come, I hope.
All right, Ricky, well, it's going to be a cracking game this week, the Melbourne Storm and the Canberra Raiders. All the very best on your path to